This is the Cyderbaby show, and today I'm with the man, the legend that is Gareth Ainsworth. Hello, sir.
You're too kind. Thank you very much for that, Dave.
That's,
No, no.
no. It's my pleasure. I mean, it's not often I get to speak to, well, a musician I speak to all the time, but a football manager as well. I mean, where is your talent end?
Where does it start in my life? I'm a lucky guy. I'm a lucky guy. I think the talent is in the look, But no, really, really, really pleased. I've been in football for so long and managed to keep the music going with it and releasing an album with the likes of Jeff Downs on playing on the same record, and things like that. So just lucky guy, and like I say, just had the breaks, I suppose. But got some good people around me as well. Got a good band, and they've really worked hard on this album, so we're really proud of it.
Okay, so apart from the football side of things, then we won't mention QPR again.
No worries, you can do. It's
No, no,
part
no,
of
no, 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 no.
part of my journey. Yeah, are you going to say that you're a rival fan somewhere? I don't know.
Well, if I say Exeter City, you're just going to laugh anyway. So,
Oh, no way, man. I've had some real tasty battles over the years with Exeter. So no, hey, they're okay. They're okay. Exeter, decent people, good side. And but QPR, yeah. I mean, yeah, the football has been great for me, but it also has really hampered me in the music career that I once wanted, and I've had to take sort of second string to. But no, the two have worked hand in hand quite well. I just feel for my band sometimes when they're saying, "Oh, we could be playing here on a Saturday night, or we could be going on this tour," and I'm saying, "Well, actually, I've got Exeter away on Saturday, and I can't make that game." So that's been the story of my life. But we've managed to do it, and like I say, we're really proud of the record.
okay, so Cold-Blooded Hearts. When did all this start?
So about 25 years ago, 20 years ago, me and a guy called Lee Van Sargent, who's the guitarist and the main songwriter and everything in the Cold Blooded Hearts, the main driving force. I answered an advert in Loot magazine. I mean, I don't know if your younger listeners will remember Loot, but Loot used to have all these adverts of bass guitarist or lead singer needed for this band, that band. And I ended up going to this band and auditioning as a lead singer because the story is that Mum was a professional singer back in the day. Music was always growing up. Dad watched Jimi Hendrix at Blackpool and showed me all these Who records when I was young. So music's always been there, rock and roll music especially. I wanted to be the singer in a rock and roll band. Managed to do it through my school years, college years, got into football, lost it for a few years, but then thought, you know what? I love doing that. I want to get back into it. So 25 years ago, answered an advert in Luke magazine saying lead singer needed. Went there, didn't tell them who I was, not that I was anyone, but just in case the football would be a problem, and wanted to be recognised as a decent singer, not just the footballer who could sing. So the band said, "Yeah, we love you the way you are. We want you in the band," and that's when me and Lee Van Sargent met. So we covered gigs and covers that everyone wants to hear for a good 5-10 years. We wrote a few of our own songs. We actually played in a pub once, and Buster Bloodvessel was in there, Bad Manners, and he asked us to go and support Bad Manners on a tour. And that's where football kills it, and I couldn't do that, so the band couldn't go. But eventually, we sort of said we need to do our own stuff. If we want to be serious about this, myself and so the first band was called Dog Chewed the Handle after the TerrorVision song. It was if you've ever tried to name a band, it's impossible. So we named it after a TerrorVision song, which was quite a cool name. People remembered it. And then myself and Lee broke away, wanting to do original stuff, and the Cold Blooded Hearts was born. And the album is our best, we think, our best 11 tracks that we've done together. As I said, Lee takes most of the credit. He's been unbelievable, but to be able to get Jeff Downs from Yes playing on the album and supporting the album and recording in his studio in Wales and watching him in action was just wow. It blows your mind, and there's a track called Hollow on the album where he plays the intro, and you can feel what the song's about without any vocals, without any words, just Jeff's piano. And that's the kind of look that I've had to work with these people, and so yeah, it's the journey that started from an advert in Loot magazine to releasing a you know, the cold light of day through Cherry Red Records, who've been great with us.
Yeah, I mean, I got the email the other day, and I had to reread it twice, I think, just to take it all in. Okay, okay, right, yeah, let's give this a listen. And to be fair, I was actually quite impressed. So you've done well. I've got
Thank
to
you.
say, you've done very well. I suppose the one that grabbed me first was Worth Waiting.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tell me about that then.
So that's the up tempo. So I'm a big Jim Morrison fan. So back in the day, my thing was the Doors. I loved the
Mm,
Doors. I was a classic rock freak, and I got into the American LA scene and loved. It was a pilgrimage every year over there. Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, the hair rock. So that song for me is, you know, it's got a few meanings. People can
yeah.
take what they want from that song, but it's the up tempo one where I get to put on my Jim Morrison act, and I love doing that. You know, I love bouncing about on stage, and the energy that that song gives you. And it's actually the single that we've got out to sort of prelude the album. You know,
Mm,
I think it just that beat, you know, the drum beat throughout the whole song just gets you up, just gets you in that sort of foot tapping mood that you're thinking, you know what, I want to get something done now, and that's what that song's all about. You know, it's a real energetic song. You know, quite one of the more basic songs to write, but I
yeah.
mean, I think it's a good track, a real good track.
Yeah, I mean, Hollow and Eastern Sunrise to me are fantastic tracks as well.
No, thanks, Dave. You know,
Uh, t- t- just go just go through them as well. I mean,
yeah,
I've just got a list here. I've marked. I like that one. I like that one. I like that one. We'll go through the whole album, I think.
but yeah, Hollow was. I mean, the lyrics. You know, this is the one where Jeff plays the piano, and it sets the scene. It's a real powerful song, and some real powerful guitar chords come in it later because it's a real serious song. You know, I remember Lee coming in rehearsal saying, "I've written this song. What do you think it's about?" And he played it to me, and I was like, "I've got no idea." Lee. You know, it's pretty powerful. Some of those lyrics are pretty powerful, and he's going to kill me for saying this because we want people to try and work out what the song's around, but it's a pretty big thing. This, and at the moment, very topical. You know,
Mm,
dementia, Alzheimer's. You know, when you lose somebody and they're still there, but you've lost
yeah.
them, and trying to get them back, trying to find a way to get them back. That's what Hollow's about. And I think once you listen to that, it's pretty easy to work it out. But the power that that song brings at the end, you know, with the you know, with the lyrics and just with the chords that Jeff and Lee play on that song, you know, it's and I mean, wow, music, how powerful is music? It's gotten people out of comas for 20 years when they've heard their favorite
Mm,
songs. You know? So why not put something in a song that means so much to people? And many people will be going through that, you know, and hopefully it can ease some pain. But no, it's a really nice track. And then Eastern Sunrise,
mm,
yeah, that's probably a collaboration of my American rock sound with Lee's big influences were like the Clash and Bowie and Mellencamp, Dylan. You know, he's a real folky sort of rock. He got into a bit of a punk era. I think the two genres coming together almost gives a southern rock sound to. And we had a lot of fun writing that one, a lot of fun because we
mm.
had the basic outline of a song and we kept saying we can add that in there, we can add that little lick in there, we can add these cymbals here, we can add, and it was a really fun song to write, you know, that one. And I'm hoping that people can appreciate, you know, the way that came together.
Okay. So if we would go through the 11 tracks there, which is your favorite two?
Right. Tell Me's the first song we ever wrote together, and we could have made it a little bit more full and a little bit more complex. It's a real raw punk sound, you
Hmm.
know, like, and I have to say that it probably kicked everything off. So that's got to be a big song for me. Although I do think we could add a bit more to it on the album, but we wanted to keep it how it was
Yeah.
15 years ago. This song's a collaboration of our time together, and we thought that one has to be on there. And then there's a song called Broken Sky, which is
Yeah.
quite an epic sort of long tune. And being a big Doors fan, you know, these sort of and you know, Guns N' Roses, one of my big bands as well. You know, when they did the November Rain and the Estranged, you know, when they really dragged those songs out, nobody had done it since probably Bohemian Rhapsody back in the day. You know, so it was like this sort of, I'm not saying operatic, but you know, almost like there's strings in there. There's there's a repetitive line at the end, a hook line at the end with some gospel singers on at the end there, and it just gets in your head, you know. And we really like, even though it repeats itself over and over, you don't mind it repeating itself. You sort of get the groove in your head. So Broken Sky, I think, could be a nice anthem for us to get out there as well.
I got to say, it's probably is my favorite track on the album. I know Worth Waiting grabbed me at the start, but like I said, that, you know, it was all on shuffle, and I didn't really know what
what order
what order it was supposed to be in. And you know, Worth Waiting came on first, and Broken Sky came on near the end. I mean, it's track 10 anyway.
Yeah. I think the line "Heaven doesn't want me, the devil's set aside a place for me" is quite a powerful thing, you know. And when you really look into the song, you know, there's a few different aspects and the ways of looking at that, but powerful lyric, you know. And I got to get, you know, I wish that I wrote it. I have to give credit to Lee Van Sargent for that lyric. He was instrumental in that song.
Okay, so let's step it back a bit then. You said about your influences, early influences, and your dad's music collection and things like that. So was it music first off? That's what you wanted to be, a musician to start with, or was it football at the same time, and you would like swapping between the two? You know, how did it all?
I think, David, it's always been music, you know. Honestly, it still is to this day. I'm not one of those people who's going to hide behind, you know, I'd rather still be in football. If I could have made a career out of music and being a musician and being on stage, and, you know, the question has been asked about Mick Jagger or David Beckham many times over the years, and there's only one answer, and it'd be standing next to Keith Richards right now still, you know. I wouldn't, that's the life I'd have wanted, you know. I think that, I think music. Mum was a singer. She was she was a professional singer. That was her living. She was a big band singer back in the day, and was on stage, Dusty Springfield sort of esque, you know, in front of these big orchestras and playing at the Mecca halls and all these fantastic places. And growing up, it was just music in the house. It was real rock and roll. I think mum's, I have the nickname the wild thing on the pitch as a footballer. I think that has to come from mum. She's probably not as wild as she used to be now, but she's definitely the one I think I take after, where dad was the sporty guy. Great taste in music, though. If you see Jimi Hendrix at Blackpool in 1967, then you've done something right, you know. And he used to go on about, he used to go on about that gig all the time, and the Kinks and the Who, and how loud the speakers were and things. But he was a sportsman as well, you know. He was a semi-pro footballer, and so I had the best of both worlds growing up, and football took over. And I think it's hard to make it as a footballer, right? It's really hard to make it as a footballer, 1 in a million. But I think it's even harder to make it as a recognized musician. I really do. You know, somebody who's going to be selling, you know, thousands of hundreds of thousands, millions of records. I think being the musician road's even harder. So I'm glad I made it at one, and I'm still keeping the other one alive. But it was always music, and still to this day, you know, when I finished playing, I didn't realize I was going to be a football manager, and did okay at that. So the band are going to have to wait that little bit longer to go on a tour. We definitely, you know, when the playing days finished, Dave, I thought that was it. I thought, right, I can get my music now, but I've had 10 years as a manager, so I've got the bands twiddling their thumbs, waiting around. But managers get sacked pretty quick in this industry, so they might have to wait too long. You never know.
So word in the right ear, and they could be a tour pretty quick then.
No, please, no. I'm okay to keep you out at the
moment. Okay. So in your off time, then you obviously listen to music and you're going to gigs and stuff like that. So what's grabbing you at the moment?
Yeah, I'm really sorry to say that I'm stuck in the past. My brother's quite a cool person. Yeah, there's an Australian band called The Chats that come out and a few years now, and I like their style. I was a big Dead Kennedys fan back in the 80s, and I think The Chats are like a real, like, in your face, we're saying this and we don't give a toss what we're saying, you know. And The Chats were pretty cool, you know, recent stuff. But other than that, you know, I go back about as recent as Nirvana, who I saw at Reading in 93, I think it was. And so I'm really sorry to any modern person in the last 20 years who's released a record, and I'm doing it now. So I'm a bit of a hypocrite here, but I'm stuck in my ways. You know, I was lucky enough last year to go to the opening night of the US tour of Motley Crue and Def Leppard.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in Atlanta Stadium, and Joan Jett and Poison were warming up, and I'm like, there's nobody in modern music that can beat this night tonight, and I'm afraid I'm gonna have to stick to that.
Yeah, I mean, Motley Crue have had their knocks over the past few months,
Yeah,
various things, but I saw them. I never really liked them back in the day. I knew the songs. I
yeah,
just nah, I won't bother going and seeing them. But I went to download. I'm trying to think of the year now, 2016, I think they were there,
yeah.
and they were on before Kiss, and they were just so flipping fantastic. I thought, what have I been missing? And it was sort of like the farewell tour.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought,
Well, yeah.
absolutely fantastic. I mean, they just had everything perfect. I thought, yeah, this is
No,
entertainment. That's what it is.
I yeah, I think it's entertaining. I think the legacy probably is bigger than the when they were out at that current time. I think the legacy is actually bigger, you know,
Mm,
the because back in those days in the 80s, you could get away with what they got away with, but nowadays there's no chance you could be that kind of band. And going back, you're going, you know what, they were cool because they were outrageous,
yeah.
and you can't really do that and be successful now. People will just get rid of you, you know. So I think, yeah, Motley Crue, and I'm like you, Dave. If I'm being totally honest, I
Mm,
was more of a Guns N' Roses man, and early Bon Jovi, Def Leppard. I don't mind admitting, you know, they were cool bands back in the 80s, real cool
mm.
bands, you know, and then you know, Motley Crue probably came a little bit late for me, and I'm one of these that goes, yeah, I did like him, and I probably make out I liked him a bit more back in the day, but no, definitely into him now, and like I say, I'm stuck in the past a little bit, but hey, it's everyone's personal choice, and that's what music's about, you know.
Do you draw comparisons in the entertainment industry with football as well? Are
Yeah,
there-
of course. No, yeah, of course. I think we are entertainers at the end of the day on the football pitch. You know, when you get that ball, I was lucky enough to play in the Premier League, and I was lucky enough to play at a good level. And when you get that football, and you know, David, any football games you've been to, you watch where the ball's going, you watch the person on the ball. So that's that moment when it's your time to shine. You know, I
Mm,
think being a lead singer in a band, you're always on it. You know, so it's like you're always on the ball. So the comparisons are definitely there. Um, I can't deny that I'm an extrovert, and I do enjoy it. I do like getting up in front of people, but I also like the reaction of people. I also like doing something where they can react to, you know, rather than
mm.
just be that midfielder that keeps it ticking. That was never me. I have to be the one who makes something happen and does something, you know, and that was always me. Whether it was a big tackle, a big header, a goal, that was always me. So on the stage as well, when I'm singing, I always try and just connect with people and get that energy working both ways, and do something that they will appreciate. They know it's about them, and so that's my style. That's the way I like it. And yeah, I was a big Doors fan growing up, like I say. So Jim Morrison, pretty cool to try and replicate that. Never get anywhere near him, but I grew my hair. That's about as close as I got.
Yeah, that's more than I can do. Um, that's fair enough. Uh, well, tell me about the album. Tell me the title of the album, when it's out, where people can get it, and
Yeah, it's our debut album with a cold-blooded heart. The album's called The Cold Light of Day. We're releasing it on vinyl, CD, every download stream you can think of, and it's been released by Cherry Red Records. I mean, fantastic independent label. Got some great artists around with them, and it's out on the 21st of July. And we can't wait.
excellent. Gareth, many thanks for your time, and I wish you all the very best and massive success with this album.
Thank you, Dave, and I'm a big fan of the radio station now. Top man.
You lie.
Take it easy.